Hi, boys and girls. We are back for another day, a week of art. Let me get rid of some of this on the screen so you can see better. There we go. And so we are going to, this is Mrs. Barentine, and we are going to continue to talk about our lines and use our lines in different ways and learn some new ones. So today you're going to need a piece of paper. You're going to need a big piece of paper. If you don't have a big piece of paper, any piece of paper will work. You're going to need a brush, and you're going to need some paint. So any kind of paint will do. There I am. I'm going to use what's called tempera paint, but you could use watercolor paint. You could use a black crayon. You could use a black marker. You could use any of those items. So let's first, with my little tiny parrot, let's review our lines. So we have horizontal, and remember horizontal is straight across. We have vertical, and vertical is up and down, up and down, up and down. We have diagonal, and diagonal is slant, 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 either way. We have zigzag, and zigzag is diagonal up, diagonal down, diagonal up, diagonal down, diagonal up, diagonal down. And we have wavy, and wavy is curve up, curve down, curve up, curve down. So we now have dashed or broken, and that is dash, dash, dash. You actually have to pick your pencil up in between. Now we have some new lines that we can use, and they're made up of all those other lines that we've already learned. They're basically just putting those things together. So we have clouds, and clouds look like puffy popcorn shape, and it's almost like a wavy, but it has points at the top. So it's dip, 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 and those are things we could use for clouds or all other kinds of art. And then we have a castle line, and a castle line kind of looks like the top of a castle, and it's made up of horizontals and verticals. So horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical. And it just keeps following that same line pattern. We're making patterns. Then we have loops. And loops are curves. Loops are curves that are looping all the way around. And they're kind of fun. So they go loop, 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 loop. And then we have what's called mouse ears. And they do look like Mickey Mouse ears. And it is a horizontal and a curve, a horizontal and a curve, a horizontal and a curve. Then we have swirls, and swirls are very fun too. Swirls go around and around and around, around and around and around, around and around and around. And then we have our good old dots, dot, 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 dot. Then we have a lightning line, and a lightning line is a lot like a zigzag line, but it kind of goes slanted. So instead of being diagonal going that way, it's more diagonal going across. So it's a zigzag line that's a slanted line, more slanted. And we have a circle chain, so we can take shapes along with our lines and make new kinds of patterns. So we have horizontal circle, and that could be like a chain if you were making a necklace or drawing a necklace on somebody. So chain, circle, circle. And then we can make a shape line, and a shape line can be any shape. It can be triangles, it can be squares, it can be rectangles, it can be ovals. This one is a square, circle, square, circle, square, circle, square, circle. So basically it's making a pattern. So here are our lines, Now we're going to make a line art painting. And we're going to work on this painting for a couple of days, or a couple of weeks actually. So keep this painting for next week and we'll finish it. And then we'll finish it in another week. So you're going to need to keep it. Make sure it dries somewhere where it doesn't get anything all messy. So right now you need to get your paper and you need to get your paintbrush and you need to get your paint or marker or crayon. Okay, so I'm going to turn this down to my, I'm going to scoot back over here so you can see me, and we kind of have our lines in the background to kind of help us. And then I have it right here too if we need to look at it. So I'll turn that upside down so you can see it. Okay, so we have our paper. And our paper is going up and down, up and down. So it is going vertical. And I'm going to put my document camera up a little bit higher so you can see a little bit more of the paper, of the whole paper. Okay, turn it this way a little bit. Get ourselves all situated. So at the top of our paper, we're going to work from the top to the bottom. And the reason why we're going to work from the top to the bottom, let me turn this a little bit so you can see me. This is all a process, people. So, and the sun's in my eyes. We're just going to get through. So the reason why we're going to go from the top to the bottom is because if we started from the bottom to the top, as we moved up our paper, our hand would drag through the paint. And we don't want our hand to drag through the paint because that'll make our hand really messy. So we're going to start from the top and we're going to go to the bottom. So I have my paint. Here's my paint. And I'll put it over here. No, I'll figure out where I'm going to put it. Here's my paint. There, good. That'll work. And I'm going to do what's called loading my brush. So I have my brush. I'm holding it behind the metal part because I want to be a neat painter. And loading the brush means basically to put paint on it. So I'm going to dip it into the paint. And I'm going to pick one of these lines. I think I will pick a wavy line. So I'm going to come to all the way up to the top, all the way up to the top. And I'm going to go with wavy, thick, black line. Oh, I'm noticing my paintbrush is running out of paint. So I'm going to flip it over, and because I paint on both sides. And now I need to load my brush again, because when I run out of paint, I want to load that brush again. And we're going to keep going. And I'm going to go back through, and I'm going to make sure that that line is nice and black and nice and thick. Nice and black and nice and thick. There we go. So now I'm going to load my brush again and I'm going to pick a different kind of line. And I'm going to skip down a little bit to right there. And I think I'll do a zigzag. So paint up, paint down, load your brush, paint up, paint down, load your brush, paint up, diagonal up, diagonal down, and diagonal up. So I have a really nice zigzag line. I'm going to adjust it all, make it nice and thick and nice and black. All right, so now I'm going to pick another line. I'm going to look at my lines And I think I will pick a castle line. I'm going to pick a castle line. So I'm going to come down a little further, and I'm going to go horizontal, vertical. Load my brush, horizontal, vertical. Load my brush, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal. All right. So now which one should I pick? I think I'll pick lightning. I'll pick a lightning one. And I will go diagonal and back. Diagonal and back. See how it's different than zigzag? Diagonal and back. And go all the way across. You might be picking a different line. It's okay if you are. You can pick whatever line you choose. And back, and diagonal, and back, and diagonal. So now I'm going to come back and I'm going to clean up some of those spaces to make sure that my line is very black and thick. Because we want thick lines, not thin lines. Okay, so now I think I'm going to make a chain, a circle chain. So I'm going to go horizontal and a circle. Make that brush go into a circle. Horizontal and a circle. Turn that brush. You got to turn that, twist that brush in your hand. Horizontal and a circle. Twist that brush. Twist it all around. And horizontal and a circle. Go all the way around and horizontal. Oh, that's a nice chain. I like that one. Here, I'm going to move me out of the way because you can't. I'm going to put me down here. Okay, good. Okay, so now I have a little bit of room for probably two more. And one of them is going to be a loop because they're fun. So go around and go around, and you're making loops all across the paper, and you have to twist the brush to do that. Twist the brush and twist the brush and twist the brush all the way. Now I'm going to come in there and clean some of those up. So I have a nice thick line. Painters try to do the best craftsmanship that they can. That's how well you do your art. Do you take your time and do the best job you can? That's good craftsmanship. Okay, I'm on my last one. I have room for one more, and I think it's going to be a broken line. Looking at my chart, I'm going to choose a broken line. And it's a horizontal broken line. So we're done. I'm done. If you have more space on your paper because you put yours closer together, you pick some more lines to fill your space because we want to fill the whole paper. So we're done for today, boys and girls. Put this somewhere to where it can dry and then save it for next time, because next time we're going to use some watercolor paints and we're going to paint colors in between. And then we're going to turn this into a line monster by cutting and gluing some eyes and things like that. So we're going to end up doing what's called a collage. And a collage is where you take shapes and you cut them out and glue them on to another piece of paper, and that creates a collage. So I hope you had a good time. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. And